YouTube, Quinn Wade coming to y'all with that daily news, weekly news, NBA coverage. We're going to talk about the hottest topics, whether it's Steph Curry, Alex Caruso, De'Aaron Fox. It's so much news going around the NBA, and I just wanted to give y'all my analysis on how I feel about these things. And we're going to start off with Alex Caruso. He was the big guy this week, actually agreeing to a 4-year, $81 million extension. Alex Caruso and the Oklahoma City Thunder have agreed to that through 28-29 season. Caruso was set to become a free agent this offseason as he was on a $9.9 million expiring contract. Caruso has been one of the NBA's premier defenders like we have known for years since emerging with the Los Angeles Lakers as a part of their 2020 championship. And now he's trying to help the Oklahoma City Thunder win a championship. Caruso left the Lakers to sign a 4-year, $37 million deal with the Chicago Bulls. Before this deal was able to kick in, he already signed the extension with the Bulls after he was traded there. Well, after he got there, I should say. During the 2021 season, the Thunder acquired Caruso from the Bulls last June in exchange for Josh Giddey. And a lot of people liked that trade because they feel like Giddey wasn't doing enough for the Thunder, and they needed more floor space, and that they need more guys that can do multiple things. And even though Giddey is a good rebounder, a good passer, he wasn't the greatest scorer or the greatest floor spacer. And then you get a guy like Alex Caruso who defends better and he can create offense off that. Plus, he can also knock down threes and he can get to the basket. He's very quick. He's very witty with his approach and his attack on how he goes about the game. And you don't see players like Caruso. He was a hustle player that gave his maximum energy each and every time he was on the court, even if that was defensively. You don't really see guys that's trying to defend and really trying to be great at defense in the NBA. They rather put all their energy towards the offensive end. Now, Caruso still got some things he can work on. He can work on his finishing a little bit. He can work on his three-point shooting a little bit. And that will help the Thunder even more because his defense has been very good this year. And nobody's going to debate that. He should be an all-NBA defensive player this year, too, for what I have seen from him this season. But I think that Caruso deserves his money. He took advantage of this opportunity. He's trying to show that he can still contribute on championship teams to Chicago. He was just proving himself. He was just going out there competing, and it really was all for nothing because we knew that the Bulls wasn't going to win the championship. They were just picking up a good piece because Lonzo Ball was also injured for the majority of that time that he was there, and he basically was being that fill-in void type of guy for that team. And now he finally can go back to a team that can help him achieve the championship goal if they stay healthy and if they play well and continue to evolve as a team and understand their roles as players. And the coach has to be able to teach that the right way. And I feel like the Thunder are getting taught the right way. They are playing the right way. That's why they have a great record the last 2 years. But the additions really helped them fill that gap of we need guys to come off the bench and give us that same energy or that same type of benefits that we get when the starters are out there. And I think Hardenstein and Caruso does do that. They have been huge impact players for the Thunder, showing you that they did make the right decision getting those guys. But then again, we know that's factual because we've seen it this year so far. And all we can do is ask for Caruso and those guys to stay healthy. And I think if he continues to stay healthy, he'll be worth the money that he's getting in this deal. But I would also say De'Aaron Fox is next. He's a guy that didn't want to sign the extension. He said he'd rather wait and see if they can put the pieces around him to be able to win. Obviously, they made it to the playoffs before, but they was never considered a championship contender with him and Sabonis. And then they added DeMar DeRozan, a great piece, a guy that can create his own shot, can pass a little bit, and also can get to the free throw line. And he's an unselfish player. They thought that would be an upgrade, and I look at it as an upgrade. I just feel like the NBA has gotten better. The NBA has gotten deeper, especially in the Western Conference. So even if you added DeMar DeRozan and you have to build up chemistry, you have to build up familiarity and things like that throughout the season, you're going to look a lot worse than what you really are. But the Kings never prioritize defense, even with getting DeMar DeRozan, even though he's a solid player on both ends of the court. He's not a stopper. He's not that type of guy. But I do like how they play. I do like their offense, but they need a little bit more, and they don't really have the ability to get that. They don't really have the ability to get better, and that's basically what De'Aaron Fox is saying. Like, I'd rather just go to another organization or another team, even if you trade me there, than stay here because I'm not really doing anything but wasting my talent and wasting my abilities because I'm putting up all these numbers. I'm scoring all these points, and we still below 500, which is understandable. Because if you want to be one of the greatest players and you want to be in that conversation, you have to be doing it on winning teams and winning terms. Is the way that we look at it as fans, as media, as players, and as people that also have retired as greats. Is about, can you dominate, and if you're that good to dominate, can you lead teams to championships? And that's what it's all about. And Fox has been in that conversation, and it's something that he understands, but it's a tough thing to actually accomplish. And he's noticing that the longer he's been in the NBA, and the longer he's been in this situation, and now he's getting an appreciation for how hard it is to win because he hasn't been doing that at all with the Sacramento Kings, which has been something that's been unfortunate because he's been one of my favorite players to watch, and he has been one of the better players in the league. He has been an All NBA player. So it's good to see him try to change his mindset and trying to achieve that ultimate goal of being a legitimate player in the league by also winning games and possibly helping the team get to that championship level. I heard some rumors that he might go to the Spurs. They ready to trade for him. That would be something monumental because Victor Wembanyama can shoot, he can space the floor, he can stay out the way, and he can also protect the rim. But that's something that he would need. But the Spurs have a lot of young talent. They have a lot of guys that can play. Even if you trade a bunch of them away, you should still have them kind of like consolidating, which is understandable why they will want to go all in on a player like Fox, especially the way he's been playing this season and last year. He was one of the clutchest players too, so he can step it up and take over games and help you win games, even if he has to do it on carrying it on his own back. And that's what you want to see. You know, you want a player that can do as much as they can in general. And he's a guy that didn't put no limit on himself. He wanted to be the best player he literally can be. And that's why I like De'Aaron Fox for that reason. I see how he played in high school. I seen how he played in college. And he has continued to become a better player even at the highest level, which is a beautiful thing to see from him. But I do want to see him win. I do want to see him on a competitive team. I do want to see him in these situations to where he can showcase his greatness to people more often. And it seems like Sacramento is a place he can show it, but it's just not doing that on a winning consistent level like he would like it to be. And he has the right to take that stand to try to do his best for him in his career because the organization is going to do the same thing when the time comes for them to do it. So it makes sense to have that in the back of your mind when you're young and you're hungry and you want to prove more things, even if it's not for yourself. And then Steph Curry and the Warriors, they've been rumored for Jimmy Butler. They've been rumored for Laurie Marketing. They made the move for Dennis Schroeder. It doesn't really look like this team can get that much better. Kuminga has been playing better. Wiggins is not really scoring dominantly, but he's showing that he can still score at a decent level. Steph has not been playing the same type of ball. He's been a little cold, and people have been able to contain him and make it tough on him. And, you know, he had figured it out. He's a great player. He's going to continue to put the work in. He's going to continue to find ways to be effective and efficient, and he has done that his entire career. He's a step slower. He's a little bit more predictable because they just don't have as many weapons that you have to pay attention to on the offensive end. So you just focus in on Steph and make everything a living hell for him. And that's the smart thing to do because if you stop Steph, you stop his playmaking, you can shut down majority of the team because you focus so much on him. That's a good thing to do. And then, you know, when you look at the fact that they had to make a minor move getting Dennis Schroeder, it makes sense that that's the biggest thing they can do unless they're willing to give up one of their young players or a bunch of their young players to get an older player. But we still don't know if that will be enough to win a championship. We still have to see how they fit, how they gel, how they play together, how they construct a roster around Steph and the new guy that they bring in. And that can take another 1 or 2 years. And he's only getting older. He's only getting a little bit, he's been getting a little bit more fragile the last couple of years. It usually happens when you get older anyway. But they can't afford to take a 2-year journey I mean, I guess you can say if you win a championship, you win a championship within those 2 to 3 years, including this year. Then I can say, well, if they can win one, it might be worth the trade. That's fair, but it's not no guarantee because the Western Conference is just brutal with talent, and they can obviously continue to stack up against the Warriors a great way because the players that I see them getting are all older than 25. So it's going to be tough to trade some young talent that you know fit for sure or play well with you for sure to get somebody that you got to make a whole puzzle to try to figure out another Rubik's cube to figure out, and that can take forever. And I don't think Steph has forever. I don't think Steph is playing on that level that it would even be worth doing. But they do have to find something because this roster that they have right now is good enough to make the playoffs, but it's not good enough to win it all. You're going to need some really crazy things to happen for this team as currently constructed to be able to go on a playoff long, deep run. And it's just tough to see that even if they make a move for another star because the West is just that tough. You know, can you be better than OKC for the next 2 to 3 years? That's going to be a question because them are the type of teams you're going to have to beat. The Rockets and all these teams, they here for a while. Memphis just blown them out, and they showing that they going to be here for a while. And if you can't stack up well against them now, and even if you do, you have to plan for the future because they can make moves to get better. They can make moves to stay above you talent wise, and they still have a couple years of youthfulness compared to your team just aging gracefully is as good as they can go. But I already put them teams at an advantage over the Warriors because they already have things figured out. They already have their personnel figured out, and they're not gonna really make a drastic move unless it makes them better, which keeps them above you. So the Warriors, they're in a tough situation. They're in a tough spot. They knew they was going to get here eventually. Either you move off the star or you just allow him to, play his whole career out like they want him to be a Warrior for life and only a Warrior. Well, you do him justice by making a team like this and say we need some young talent. We need some veteran talent, and we just got to live with the results that comes with it. You can say the same thing with Clay. I don't think the Mavericks increased his chance of winning a championship, but they are going to be better than the Warriors because of the play of Luka and Kyrie. They had a duo that he fits seamlessly with, so it makes sense for him to make that move to a team like that because he's been a role player S type player his whole career. Steph Curry has been the guy. He has been the franchise. He has been the show that you want to see. And it's just sad that he's not that anymore, and it's going to be more reality the next couple years too. But by us accepting that and knowing that he's doing it because he has so much competitive fire in his body, even though he's not the same player, that's all you need sometimes to keep yourself relevant. That's all you need sometimes to keep yourself competitive. But it's just different levels to this game of trying to win championships. And this is a young man game. And they had their time, they had their chance. I heard a lot of people say that they had their time, they had their chance, they had their rosters that was crazy, they had their super teams. Now it's just time for somebody else's time. Well, I think that's fair because they already won the championship this decade already in 2022. So it ain't like they're trying to get back to the top of the mountain. They wasn't that far ago or too long ago when they was at the top of the mountain again. So even if he doesn't win another championship, we can look at it like, well, at least you was able to get it done before you retired in 2022 this decade, showing you that the Steph era extended into another one. And now I think it's basically over. And Steve Kerr didn't say that long ago. I think our championship window is closing. And it just because the moves that people make, the egos you got to stroke, the things you got to figure out, the things you got to get right. It just you have to make a perfect and timely decisions to stay competitive for a long period of time. And we're seeing that might be dwindling even more as these guys are being what they are and as is. And nobody's really trying to buy into guys that don't have superstar potential unless it's a swap for he does this for you. We need him because he does this for us, and we don't have nobody on the roster that does the same. And that's basically what Shooter was in that trade. We have a guy that's competitive. We have a guy that's helping us win. He can help you guys win. We're not going to get much for him, but he might be a better fit for y'all because he was good for us. But we also not going in that direction where we're trying to win right now, so y'all can have him. And I don't think that made the Warriors significantly better, but it did make them have another option that can change the way they play and change the direction they can go in from time to time, whether they start him or bring him off the bench. He's just another added ingredient that you heard that can work well, and now you just try him. And I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that, especially because that's what they need, an injection of life, an injection that can really come out of nowhere and be a weapon. And that's what Dennis Schroeder is. But if they're looking for something more than that, it's going to be tough to see it still working out because this team is just so old and they have to give up so much of their young athleticism and the young, hungry players that's trying to prove that they're better than what they are. And you can't really replace that unless you're getting a guy that feels the same way that they do, but your ceiling closes a little bit faster because you don't have the longevity, which don't matter as much because Steph's not going to be playing that much longer, for what we know. But we can have these conversations and it can go either way. It can go a long way. It can go a crazy way. It can just go a respectable way. And I think that that's basically what I'm saying. You can't go wrong or right with this decision. It just shows you how much love and how much appreciation we have for Steph Curry and the Warriors, for giving us great basketball, for dominating the game and making one of the greatest players shine on the biggest stages that basketball has to offer and the world has to offer for him, for the work that he has put in. And we kind of hurt that he's going to go out this way, but we kind of happy because they've been that good for this whole era. And that's why it's called the Curry era for that reason. He was just that dominant, just that prominent. And we just have to give him his flowers for something that he has done for over 10 plus years. Year 16, something got to change, even if it's for the losing end. And I ain't hoping that he lose, but as a team that lost to him, the Celtics in 2022, and for us to have them still in the league and us to get to the top of the mountain, I think that we got it figured out, and they had their time figured out, and now it's just time for other teams to win now. And he has to accept that, and we have to accept that and take advantage of it just like they did back in the day. It's always time. Nothing lasts forever. Good things come to an end too, and the Warriors' reign over the league is probably done now. And like I said, they won the championship this decade, so it's not the worst thing. Other than that, comment, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell for more analysis. And if you're new to the channel, do a conversation of different variety just like this. But I also do breakdowns with real footage of legends, current players, rookies, and also future stars. Also do draft coverage and mock drafts for the NBA for players that's coming into the league. And also happy holidays for everybody that's watching. I will be making videos on Christmas, so look forward to that. That's why you should be hitting that notification bell to get it as soon as it comes out for people that's going to be chilling on the holiday. Thanks for putting analysis in your plans for people that's going to be watching on Christmas and New Year's. I appreciate the fact that you care what I think and you care what I make. And that's what makes this channel special. You guys love hearing and watching what I do, and I love making what y'all want to see. That's something that's fun to do for me, and it has been a great run. I have been in this game for 12 years come 2025, and I'm trying to have the same energy closing out this year, going into next year, and I want the same type of thing from my fans to feel the same way like I have been showing. Other than that, I'm gone. This is the only video for today outside the videos I made early in the morning, and I'll see you guys hopefully on Christmas.